your headlights are ineffective. It is not because of your headlight or because of the environment, but the factor affecting this is your own physiology, which wow helps us differs from time to time. It changes from I'm in a very bad spot. I don't want to be in. Hang on. Whenever you're driving to a long distance, or let's suppose you started driving your vehicle at around 1500 hours, and the moment you start approaching towards the dusk or to the dusk, at that point of time, the environment is such everything does not go well or doesn't go hand in hand with the situation. Our body requires time to adapt to certain kind of environments, and dusk is a period, it's a transitional period which takes time, and the phase between the light and the dark. So the body gets confused, even the animals get confused, like the birds and everything. Dusk and dawn, both the times you need to be like 110% uh, cautious, because what are the cons, what are the negatives at this time when you are approaching towards dusk? Your headlights are ineffective because there is plenty amount of light as well as there is no light. Both, there is a very sweet spot which is such a condition where you cannot see, your headlights are completely like useless. Whether you use them or you don't, it doesn't make any difference. It is not because of your headlight or because of the environment, but the factor affecting this is your own physiology, that is our eyes, a very important sense organ, which wow helps us. So there was such a big truck going so close. Wow, this is what make night driving difficult. Anyways, so the where I was, the physiology, the eyes, the most important sense organ. We have two types of cells in our eyes. Let me explain how an image forms in our eye. You must be knowing the cornea, the lens, focal length. I'm not going to all those nitty gritties, but the basic is the point where the light strikes, or the light converges, or the ray converges, forms the images. And that point is known as fovea centralis, also called as the yellow spot. It's on our retina. It's the film, you could say it's the film like a digital camera. Now, retina is responsible for the formation of light, and retina comprises of the yellow spot, the best spot for the vision. Now, the yellow spot comprises of two kinds of cells, the rods and the cones. Now, the rods are responsible for forming images in the dark time, and the cones are responsible for forming images during the night time. Now, as you know, there are two cells, rods and cones. They were assigned with two functions. Now, the moment you enter into a transition phase, or the dusk or the dawn period, let's tell it as the transitional phase, because we are changing from an environment to another. Let me hold it. Okay, so that transition phase, the rods and the cones both are getting confused, and they require time. They need time. Your brain need time to process all the images that forms. The same happens with our digital camera or any camera you see. The aperture, the shutter speed, the ISO, all those things works in the same way. You cannot use the same setting for day as well as for night. You need to tweak it. You need to change it, and that change requires some time. And in the same way, our body, our physiology requires some time to adapt to those changes that are occurring in our environment. Now, this time could be like more than 15 minutes. It may take longer or it may take shorter. It depends completely on the person. It differs from person to person. It differs from time to time. It changes from I'm in a very bad spot. I don't want to be in. Thank God. So, anyways, so you need to give that time because your body is trying to tweak all the changes. Now, once your body is informed about the environment, it understands it completely. Now, your body could perform to the optimum level. So, that is the time when the complete darkness comes into picture. When there is complete darkness, the body understands the light gets eliminated completely. Now you are driving in a night condition under your headlights, and there is no other external source of light. So the cells are they are so much accustomed to the environment, they helps you to see better in the dark conditions, and that's how you change from oh you change from a phase night to day, dawn and dusk. Now, what you need to do is, if you're driving long distances, like let's suppose 700 kilometers, 800 kilometers, or maybe it it may be a subjective term as per you if you're driving a long distance, I believe, because all have their own opinions, and long distances could be interpreted in many forms. Let's say, for example, for me, maybe 500 kilometer be a long distance. For someone, maybe 100 kilometer would be a long distance. So there is much vagueness, much more scope of interpretation. So, anyways, whatever the long distance for you may be, and if you're driving, make sure you take a break for 15 to 20 minutes as per your need to tweak your vision, to understand the transitional phase, and let your body get used to the darkness. Unless and until, wow, okay, unless and until you tweak your body, you're not going to perform that well in the dark. Now, once you, and it is it applies to both the cases. In both the cases, the rule remain the same. Whether you are driving from day to night, that is dusk, or whether you are driving night to day, that is dawn. In both the period, you make sure to take some rest, take some break, and you could make it more productive by adding some uh, list to your journey span, like you take a rest, you take a nap, or you could clean your mirrors, your headlights, your wipers, or just basically give a take a break, simple break, and just complement it with some other functions that you need to perform on the road, so that you don't need to face any kind of breakdown. What I used to do is I take a break. If there is some kind of snacks and something, I used to churn it. Or if my headlights are dirty, I used to clean it. If my windshield is dirty, I used to clean it. Or I just do a overall checkup. I just investigate the vehicle, whether each and every part is performing. So make sure आप ऐसे ब्रेक लीजिए जहाँ पे आपका काम भी हो जाए, आप रिजुविनेट भी हो जाओ, and you are fit for next 800 or 500 kilometers or 600, whatever that you have decided. So that is what I call a transitional break, which will make you completely strengthened, and you will feel much more better after the break when you drive, whatever the situation may be, night or day.